I actually don't think Boris Johnson's a liar. I don't live there, but I would say that in Britain, whether or not you support the decision to leave the EU, that was a decision that was, first of all, it was the vote of a majority of British citizens. There's been a massive debate about it for years. It's being implemented by a democratically elected leader. I don't see how it's possible to claim that he's authoritarian, other than if you're just using the word to mean somebody you don't happen to like. The principal distinction between what I would consider a negative form of nationalism and the positive form is that the negative form is authoritarian and that the positive form is democratic. That is a principal difference that has nothing to do with whether you like the particular leader that was elected last year or the year before. It's not a question as to whether you think Boris Johnson is a nice guy or not, or whether you think Donald Trump is a nice guy or not. These are both leaders, for all their differences, that were elected in democratic processes in a free country. So whether or not you like Donald Trump or Boris Johnson, these are not the equivalent of a Russian or Chinese dictator.
I agree with Colin. It's not a lie. I believe that Boris Johnson does indeed love, I don't know whether it's Britain or England. But let's just remind ourselves again of what we're arguing about. Nationalism is a force for good. So we have a situation in the UK where Boris Johnson, for better or worse, is an English nationalist. He's opposed to the very idea of the EU because it somehow offends his Englishness. He believes in the essential nature of Englishness. And therefore, I think he peddled a series of lies to get the UK out of the EU. I think we just need to come back to the reality of our world in 2020. We live, for better or worse, in a globalized world. Whether we like it or not, the UK, I think, is much better off within the EU.